I'll call this meeting to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for coming. I want to remind everyone our mission is to encourage everyone to see and be their personal best through successful learning experiences. Become your best. Item 4, adoption of agenda and consent agenda as order of business with the identification of items to be taken off the consent agenda for discussion or separate action. Need a motion?
Second.
All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? All right, now we need to consider the approval of the consent agenda as adopted. Approve the minutes of the August 16th, 2022 Board of Education meeting. Approve the financial report for the period of July 1, 2022 through August 31st, 2022. And C, to approve the bills for the period of August 1, 2022 through August 31st, 2022 in the amount of $2,418,706.08.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All right, now, Board District Leadership Team Strategic Planning, Legislative Update. Dan.
We have one,
Good.
yes.
And what'd they have to say?
So it was actually it was a good conversation. It was the first one, obviously, I think you all know it's been about 3 months since we had last met. And again, all the Sheboygan County superintendents get together with our local legislators. They're all invited, state legislators. But once in a while, Glenn Grothman will show up. He's always invited too. To talk about the issues related to law, policy, funding, all of those things that the legislators have some say in. We advocate for our positions as a group, and so we did that again today. On Monday, we had that meeting. So we have we've agreed on 3 specific areas that we're advocating for as a group of superintendents. The first one is looking at the looming fiscal cliff that's been created by the fact that we are now in our 3rd year of 0 increases to our revenue limit from the state. So that means $0 additional going into education. There has been a little bit of increase in special education, but we're still operating on 1920 funding levels for our students. So we're advocating to catch up. Now, right now, we've been able to backfill the gap with federal dollars from ESSER, and the other districts are all the same. And so what we're saying is, in terms of the looming fiscal cliff, is that our funding has remained flat. Our expenses have increased to stay competitive, to hire teachers for our students and supplies and all the rest. We're using ESSER funds to backfill that gap currently. That runs out in 23-24, so we're asking them for what are their plans for solutions to this at a state level, considering this next election could go one of 2 ways, and how do they see it in case of either one of those directions. So all of us are, there's one other point about this. There's some kind of misinformation that's out there about, you probably have seen the commercials, the highest funding level of all time for school districts in the state of Wisconsin. That isn't true related to what schools get, because the funding levels, if they increase, but you keep the revenue limit flat, we can't use 1 dime more of that increased funding. It goes back into the taxpayers' pockets for a tax refund. If the revenue limit stays flat and they increase funding, that is a tax rebate to property tax holders, which is, not a horrible thing, but it isn't quite honest in what the rhetoric that you see on television on some of those ads. So we've talked about that and about transparency and those types of things with addressing that fiscal cliff. However, we didn't really get into any details, but they do recognize that it is an issue.